Are you ready to embrace a deeper, more intentional way of living? Introducing Deep Calls to Deep, Meditations for Your Spiritual Journey, Volume 1 by Brandon Andrus. Deep Calls to Deep offers 1.5 years of weekly meditations to inspire spiritual growth and guide you toward a more meaningful, embodied life. Order your copy today wherever books are sold and begin your journey into greater connection and purpose. Deep Calls to Deep. Let your soul awaken.
Hey heathens, you're listening to the Deadly Faith Podcast, where religion and crime collide. I'm Lola.
And I'm Laci.
And this shit is crazed.
The mind that was in Jesus, that mind is in me.
Without me, life has no meaning.
Why would God tell you what I'm thinking and tell you what I've said to my wife or my husband when you're not around? It's because I'm the pastor of the church and I need to know.
This is the only place where you can see truth.
Crazed. Ooh.
Crazed.
Crazed.
It's so cray-cray. I'm sorry.
I feel like I know the name of this cult, the Kirtland Cult, but I cannot think of anything.
You might know the leader's name.
Okay.
Jeffrey Lundgren. Does that ring a bell?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
I think maybe the more you, once you start telling the case, maybe it'll ring a bell or, I just can't remember, but I'm excited. Yeah. But we're coming at you with another two-parter.
Yes. I had to do this in 2 parts because it is so much information. So much. And I don't want to leave any of it out. So,
yeah.
Before we get into trigger warnings, we have a message from Fiverr. If you're ready to turn your creative ideas into reality, look no further than Fiverr. The logo for Deadly Faith I created, and we turned to a graphic designer on Fiverr to bring it to life without breaking the bank. If you need help in the creative space, give Fiverr a shot. They offer a range of services, including graphic design, digital marketing, video editing, programming, and so much more. You'll love their affordable prices, diverse pool of top-notch talent, and quick turnaround times. Fiverr is the ultimate marketplace for freelancers ready to support your success. Whether you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or simply looking for a creative boost, Fiverr has everything you need. Join millions of satisfied customers and visit Fiverr today through the link in the show notes and make your vision a reality. Now back to the show. Okay, so trigger warnings are murder, cult dynamics, domestic abuse, bathroom kinks,
What?
non-consensual sex, and human sacrifice.
Okay, I know this is probably the least triggery of the trigger warnings, but what with the bathroom kinks?
Listen, I actually didn't know any other way to put it. And I didn't want to Google bathroom kinks because if you can believe it, I do have a standard for my Google searches.
Yeah.
I do.
And also, if you just typed in bathroom kinks, I'm pretty sure it's only going to bring up 2 girls, 1 cup. That's
not that again. I've seen enough. I've seen and heard it all. Okay.
Oh, have you seen that video? I have not seen it.
Yes, it was.
You watched
not okay
it?
with me. I've seen so many things. YouTube was a dangerous place for young me.
Yes, it was. I just Googled it the other day because I was like, "What is this?"
What the fuck, Laci?
Because it was in another episode that I was listening to. It was another true crime case, and it was called 3 Guys.
You need to run things by me first.
It was called 3 Guys and a Hammer, and they said that they got their name for that video from, inspired by 2 Girls, 1 Cup. And they're like, if you don't know what that is, don't go watch it. So I just Googled what it was. So I just read a little synopsis, and I was like, yep, I'm good. I don't have to watch that. Because I did watch the video of the guy that used a pickle jar as a butt plug and it broke inside of him. I did watch that one. That one was awful. And I don't think I need to watch anymore.
We're starting out really. Okay. I have no other words. So
anyways, back to the show.
Well, I feel like I'm forever learning about Mormons and like horrible things left in the wake of their existence, because this is another horrible Mormon story.
Oh my gosh. Also, I just found out that one of my husband's like one of the very first beans in America, helped the Mormons escape persecution and
what in the
get
world?
Settled. I know. I was like, I got to Google this. There's a statue of him and everything in Idaho. I was like, what? I'm like, what a legacy.
Wow. That's a real fucking legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kirtland, Ohio was the town Joseph Smith was driven out of in 1937. Just want to give you some context here before we get into the main characters of the story. It's said that he kind of cursed the town because after he left, bad things kept happening. So in 1989, 5 murders changed the town forever. We are talking about the RLDS Church, which is a branch off of the Mormon Church. It's called the Reorganized Latter-day Saints Church.
Oh, so those are the ones that they like polygamy.
Not exactly. So
okay, just kidding.
I don't know for sure all the facts on that. I just know it was created by the son of Joseph Smith Jr. because he believed that the guy that took over the LDS Church in Utah, Brigham Young, was a false prophet. So he was trying to get to the restored version of scripture and, I don't know, stick to the true path that his dad had carved. So, and just this may come up for you if you are I've never seen RLDS anywhere. It's because today it's called Community of Christ.
Oh, didn't know that.
So yeah, that's just a little backstory, I guess.
So if you get these two groups together, how do they fight on who's right? Because one of them's an actual descendant of Joseph Smith. And the other one's just took what Joseph Smith said.
Yeah. RLDS is more conservative, I think. And then LDS is more liberal. I think that's the best way I could put it from what I've been learning.
Okay. Which they're not liberal in the terms that I'm thinking liberal.
Mm-hmm.
They're still highly conservative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's scary. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about Alice Lundgren. She was married to Jeffrey Lundgren. She is a big part of the story.
Okay.
She was born January 21st of 1951 and grew up / lived in Independence, Missouri. Her parents took very good care of her and her siblings. But Alice, she struggled with insecurities, really low self-esteem. When Alice's father fell ill when she was a teen, she was put in charge of the house and her siblings because her mom had to go to work at a diner.
Oh.
So they no longer had the luxuries that they once had before. They no longer were super well taken care of.
Right.
So Alice became resentful towards her siblings and began turning to religion, specifically RLDS.
Yay.
So her local church, she was there for any and all events. Anytime the doors were open, she was there. Completely dedicated and super well-versed on the Book of Mormon. Quoted the back of her hand. She studied this thing. So yeah, by the time she was a senior in high school, she was almost had the whole thing memorized. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
So, she's all in.
What a flex. Yeah.
I mean, she said, let me escape reality. And girl, you fucking did.
Yeah, she did. Goal achieved.
So Alice states that she experienced her first spiritual awakening. Awakening. Around this time, the senior year, she was woken up in the night feeling a dark presence. She was physically paralyzed but awake and called out to Christ for help, and the dark feeling went away and she regained movement. What's that sound like to you?
That's sleep paralysis.
Yeah, which is super common.
Wait, that's an actual thing. It's not a demon. It's fucking sleep paralysis, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can consider the Hat Man a demon, I guess, if you want to.
The Hat Man?
If you take too much Benadryl, the Hat Man will visit you, you know?
Oh.
I owe him money, so I hope he doesn't come around.
I'm lost, but...
Okay.
All right, cool. Let's keep going.
Whole other rabbit hole for us to go down. We'll do that on the Potty Podcast. So,
sounds great.
Yeah, so after the spiritual awakening, Alice went to Central Missouri State Library during a trip at a summer camp.
Okay.
And that is when she met her future husband, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Lundgren. He was a student at the school. And when she met him, he immediately made an impression.
Why is it that when you said Jeffrey, my mind instantly went Dahmer?
Because it's too easy.
The name. It's too
easy. So she had a major crush on Jeffrey. She was feeling it.
Yes, she was.
She gushed to her camp friends about Jeffrey. She'd only met him once, okay? But she was so smitten. Oh,
okay.
Hold her back.
But valid, because like I went to a camp one time and there was this like one of the like older leaders. His nickname was Scooby and he had this blonde hair and he was like, God. I was like, I will marry you. And he's like, you're 7 years younger than me and this is highly illegal. I'm just kidding. We really didn't have that conversation. It was all in my head, but
no, I
wanted him. And I met him one time.
Summer camp love is different.
It's so different.
You cannot paint me bewildered in this circumstance at all. So she's gushing to her friends, and one of the friends, actually knows Jeffrey and had briefly dated him.
Oh.
She warns Alice that he is a creep. Stay away. She said he tried to get her drunk and sexually assault her during the date.
I am going to take a wild shot in the dark and say that Alice did not heed her warning.
No, absolutely not. Later on, at the camp, one of the patriarchs was given a sermon and prophesied that Alice's generation would be the one to see Christ return in the flesh. And he looked at Alice and said, "My daughter Alice, the Lord says to you that your prayers will be answered, and I have set aside your future companion to be a great man in the eyes of the Lord, and will do good and bring forth my kingdom and do great works." What do you know?
Oh, no.
She'd been secretly praying for this future husband. Who doesn't? Okay, if you're any type of religious young teenage girl, you pray for your future husband. You just fucking do, okay?
Oh, I had so many journal entries.
Did you write to your future husband? Because I did.
I had an entire treasure chest of letters that I wrote him, which didn't turn out as cute as I had worked it up in my head because my husband's dyslexic. And so I hand him this box of shit he has to read. And he's like, thanks.
This is actual hell for me.
This is stressful as fuck. And I'm just like standing on the bed like, are you going to read it?
You're just rocking on your toes. You're like,
right?
Will you read it?
Oh, and I had like gotten him gifts from when I went overseas to different countries.
Oh my God, I hate it so much. No, I love it, but I hate it.
No, it was so fucking cringe. It's
so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fall of 1969. That just sounds like a good year. It's because it's 69. Anyway, whatever. 1969. Alice begins college at that same college, Central Missouri State, and runs into Jeffrey again. What do you know? I wonder if some of her decision on where to go to college had to do with the fact that he was also going there.
If she was anything like me as an adolescent, preteen, and teenager, abso-fucking-lutely it did.
Yeah. So when she runs into him, he immediately asks her on a date. On this date, Jeffrey really opens up to her. So I want to talk about him a little bit.
Okay, who's this Jeffrey? All I know is that he likes to try to assault women.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, born May 3rd, 1950 in Independence, Missouri, came from big money. Money. Yeah. His dad was an elder of the LDS Community Church in Independence, Missouri. And you know, Independence, Missouri, that's a big powerhouse for the LDS Church. So he's a big dog, you know?
He's a big dog.
So they're a super well-known family. They got a reputation, but they're not super well liked.
Oh, you wouldn't say.
Yeah.
A rich, snobby, religious person. Never heard that before.
They're also likable. Yeah.
Yes.
So Jeffrey's dad, Don, was very opinionated and arrogant.
Again, where have I heard this before?
It's like when people appoint elders, do they consciously look for these?
Yeah, they have a checklist.
Characteristics.
Are you snobby? Are you arrogant? Are you
selfish? Are you greedy?
Yeah. You are? All of it? Great. Perfect. Check, check, check. You are now the leader of the congregation.
We love that for a spiritual movement. Yeah. And Jeffrey's mom, her name was Lois. I love the name Lois.
I do too.
I know Family
It's a good
Guy and
name.
stuff, but like aside from that, I really like the name Lois.
I was thinking Lois Lane from Superman,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
Family Guy.
I don't like my brain. Anyway. So Lois was said to be materialistic, all decked out. She was the fancy girl. You know that whole like, that scripture about you will not wear braids and fine clothing and pearls and no. She was like, take it away. No.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think of Tammy Faye Baker. Tammy Faye Baker, she was like one of the like top TV evangelist's wife. And she was like all decked out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The
Very
Bakers.
flashy.
Which I will cover them. 'Cause
I can't wait.
they are criminals.
They're criminals. I love to hear it. I love a spoiler. Okay, so Lois, she's the fancy girl. So Jeffrey says that he felt his parents were very in love with each other, but they did not love their kids.
Oh, that's all fucked up, man.
That's really sad. And he's telling her
But
this.
also, in a religious household, I get it, because we were taught, and I don't know if you were taught this too, that like when you get married, like you always put your husband first, even above your kids.
No, we were not taught that.
Oh, we were. We were
taught
like,
the kids
your
come
husband
first.
comes first. No, ours was husband comes first. You serve his plate first. You know, you have his back over the children.
I guess technically, though, it would be that the husband came first. So the whole, your husband will decide what's best for the children. And then for you, your husband will do this for the children. I don't know.
And you're taught to submit to them. So you're taught like you have to.
I hate the word submit because it's just, it's taking,
It's very
I
degrading.
understand what the verse was meant to say. The way it said it was wrong, though.
But it also says he must submit to her too. But everyone forgets that part of the fucking verse.
And give himself for her as Christ gave himself for the church. So, yeah, they forget that part
let's
too.
just forget about that part. But yeah, I can understand why he might have felt that way.
Yeah. He said that they were criticized often about pretty much everything that they did because their image was really important because of his dad's role in the church and his mom's role too. Jeffrey claims that his dad abused him as a child pretty severely.
Dang.
Like physically and verbally, but so we don't have anything to dispute that. We believe victims first. So I'll say that probably did happen. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Not in this day and age, especially in like a religious household. Like, spare the rod, spoil the child was something we've always heard.
So Jeffrey ended up being a loner most of the time in school. And it's noted that some classmates have come forward saying that they just felt sorry for him and he just seemed pathetic.
Oh, that's really sad.
Like just pitiful. Just wanted to be liked so badly, wanted to be loved, but just it never, I don't know.
Oh, that breaks my heart. I'm sure I don't like him in a little bit.
I feel bad for the little him.
But little Jeffrey, poor guy, that's just fucking heartbreaking.
So he shares all this with her on the first date. That's a lot, okay?
Yeah.
That's a fucking lot. Just what a way to...
forgot.
What's your favorite color? Let me trauma dump, actually. Do you mind?
I forgot this was the first date. No, hi, how are you? Where'd you grow up? What's your favorite thing? It's like, bitch, let me
Listen,
tell you
my
about
dad
my
hurt me.
parent issues.
I have daddy issues and I need a hug. I don't blame him. But also, not the place. Not the... there's a time for everything. The attitudes. All that shit.
I'm wondering, was it strategic? Because I'm sure she's over here thinking...
Oh, poor baby. I can fix him. No, really, I can. No, but I can. Yeah. So after the first date, he walks her home and he asks nicely for a kiss. She allows him to kiss her on the cheek.
Okay.
And then leaves. But after this, he's obsessed. He is like straight up drinking whatever Kool-Aid she's got.
Okay.
So he began waiting for her to walk her to class and then carry her books. So this was happening every morning. And then he started waiting outside her classes to walk her to the next course.
Oh, wow.
So for every class, he was doing this. It's sweet until you find out that Jeffrey was not even going to his own classes. He would literally just go to school, walk her to class, and then wait outside the hallway for her to get done with class, take her books, walk to the next class, same thing. That was the drill.
Did she know that he was not going to his classes, or like he didn't have classes?
I'll get into it.
She did. Okay.
I'll get into
I'm
it.
jumping the gun. Sorry, I do that all the time.
So
that's creepy.
She ended up figuring out though that he was like watching her though, and like waiting for her in a more stalkery way, because she caught him watching her through the the glass door windows.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like the classroom window. He would, yeah. So she saw him doing that a couple of times. He would sometimes call her in the evenings and tell her what she should wear to school. And if she didn't the next day, he would look disappointed and sad. Oh, can you spell control? Because
can I lift up every red flag that there is and just start waving it? Because that's what I'm feeling.
Remember, Alice has really low self-esteem. She's very insecure. She wants validation. So Alice thought it was endearing, and she was in love with him. Like, she was all about it. It was reciprocated. So 1 week after their first date, this is 1 week, okay, that all of this has happened. You thought it was a month or so, didn't you? No, it's 1 week.
1 fucking week?
Yeah. That he's escalated from the first day.
Damn.
It was just in the mornings, walking her to class. Yeah. It just, So.
Okay. Wow. This roller coaster just went over the top hill.
So you think you can get comfortable, and then it's just like, skirt. Anyway. So 1 week after the first date, they were on a hayride at a church function, and Jeffrey proposed to Alice.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you were going to say that. God, what the fuck?
And she eagerly accepted. So
and I thought ours was fast.
This is where things start to get, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. So,
okay.
After the...
She's like, that's all I've got for you. I'm sorry.
I'm in love with your daughter. What do you have to offer her? Nothing but this. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So after the proposal, Jeffrey was insistent about having sex with her. But Alice had really strong beliefs about waiting until marriage.
Yeah.
Because remember, she's like full send about RLDS
her religious
principles. So she was not, she's not about it. But unfortunately, she did end up giving him consent. But that's not consent.
It was coerced.
Yeah. So that is non-con sex.
Mm-hmm.
So after the first time, the relationship began to revolve around sex. It's all he wanted all the time. Every time he saw her, that's what he wanted to do. And Alice felt really guilty, you know? And I totally identify with this. I felt the same way the first couple of times that I had sex. I was like, this is wrong. I'm dirty. You know?
Yeah, it's a mind fuck.
It's a valid feeling for her coming from a spiritual, you know, rules and everything when it comes to her body. So I feel really bad for her here. But Jeffrey says, if you love me, you'll do this for me. Fuck you, Jeffrey. Fuck you.
Right.
Wait, no, don't fuck him. But like.
Fuck him with a cactus.
Yeah, that. So by the end of the fall semester, Jeffrey was failing his courses because he was not showing up. Alice did not know he was skipping classes until one of his classmates lets it slip. So like, it's not really a secret, but pretty much in passing, the classmate's like, so you and Jeffrey, you know, and she's like, yeah. And he's like, he's never in class, you know, he's always with you. So like, you know, that's how she finds out. So when she asked Jeffrey about it, he excused it by saying that his classmate just didn't see him slipping in and out of classes. This is not correct. He's actually skipping. And he failed. And he was told that he could not return to the school for the following semester. If he was sent home, based on the year that it's at, if he's sent home to his parents, he's going to get sent to the military. It's either college or military. There's no other way around it.
There's no choices he's being given.
So he was... he wasn't happy about this, but he had to deal with the reality that he has failed and there's no other option for him because he doesn't have money or anything. So Alice is scared that if Jeffrey moves back home, he will look for sex and I will not be there.
Oh, no.
So it's so sad that that's her first priority. Like,
I know.
That should not be even a thought in your head. But so Alice was like, yep, let's get married right now. Right fucking now.
Like a ring's going to change anything.
I know. Same. Yeah. So May 5th of 1970, they get married. And Alice was already pregnant with their first child.
Damn.
They moved into Alice's parents' house. And Jeffrey knew that he would be drafted as soon as he unenrolled from college. So he just went ahead and enlisted in the Navy. And immediately after boot camp and everything, he left for San Diego.
Wow.
They immediately sent him off. So, yeah, it was November that same year that he went to San Diego. Their first son, Damon, was born while he was away, and Alice and the baby ended up moving to San Diego to be with Jeffrey soon after.
Wow.
Money is very tight. Super tight.
Yeah.
Jeffrey was really controlling about all the money.
You wouldn't say. Shocked.
More issues are arising too. Alice's needs are not being met in bed.
Oh, not shocked at that one either.
And Jeffrey has no consideration for Alice at all. So Alice doesn't want to have sex, which makes sense. I wouldn't want to have sex with someone that's not priority. If I'm not having a good time, I'm not going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
But Jeffrey's pushing her. He's still like persuading her. So some more non-con is happening.
Yeah.
July of 1972, Jeffrey is on a ship called USS Sheldon to be sent to Vietnam. While on the ship, he spent all of his time memorizing the Book of Mormon not because he wanted to get on the right spiritual path, not because he wanted to grow closer to God. No, he wanted to do this.
No, I know where this is going.
Are you sure though?
He wants to memorize it in order to use it against her to force her to have sex with him. No?
That's probably plan B, but plan A is, remember, she's got it all memorized and she is super smart, sharp girl. And he felt embarrassed that Alice knew scripture better than him because he was raised in this church all his life. His dad's an elder and he doesn't know it. He knows a couple of really popular verses, but he doesn't know everything. So he's
trying to outshine his wife.
That's exactly it. He wants to outshine her and be like, I'm the one that knows everything. I'm the man.
Oh my gosh.
You're not the man.
That is a great lesson in toxic masculinity, guys.
Yeah. He was also doubting God at this point in time. He hadn't had a spiritual experience like Alice. He was just jealous of all of her spiritual paths. He felt invalidated and he wanted a sign that, I'm on the right spiritual journey here. I'm doing all the right things to be in, favor. So,
yeah.
He got that though. He got his spiritual experience. It was December of 72. His ship was under attack and over 700 shots were fired, but none hit the ship. And Jeffrey believed it was God protecting him alone. Not the ship, but him alone.
You are so important. Fuck everyone else on the ship.
That's what I'm saying.
You are God's favorite.
So Jeffrey actually, you remember that prophecy that Alice was given at the summer camp thing? So Jeffrey knew about that. And now he was starting to believe that he was that man, He was becoming that man at least. And God was protecting him in order to create a prophet. This is getting dangerously psychotic. This is getting...
Yeah, his offspring is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Wow.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what?
Because you said to create a prophet. Is he talking about like Jeffrey's offspring prophet or him
to
prophet?
Like make him into the prophet.
Oh, this is straight down cult lane.
Yeah. So he went home and moved Alice and Damon and himself in with some old friends, Louise and Sonny Stone. The ladies got really close. Louise and Alice are very close friends.
Okay.
The couple, Sonny and Louise, ended up seeing Jeffrey verbally abusing Alice, and they did not like him after they saw the way he treated her. Alice didn't have access to any of the money, and Jeffrey stopped paying their bills.
Jeffrey.
So bill collectors were calling.
Yeah, they were. They want that money, honey.
Yeah. So Jeffrey always got angry whenever she would bring this up, too. She'd be like, they're calling again, or they're coming up to the house. Like, what am I supposed to do here? I don't have the money.
Yeah.
I don't have access to it. But he would get angry and he would dismiss her and everything. His beliefs are that he's the man of the house. He's in charge of all the money and the rules, and Alice should fully submit to him. No questions asked. Yeah. Love that.
All I have to say is,
Yeah, same. June of 74, Alice has another son named Jason, and Jeffrey is discharged from the Navy in November of 74, and he re-enrolled in Central Missouri State and was actually making good grades this time.
Okay, so he got his head on his shoulders.
Yeah, so things are starting to look up a little bit, I guess. The college was made up largely of Mormon students, and there was some fighting because the RLDS church was split due to some wanting more liberal church changes like women preaching and some wanting to keep the hierarchy of male leaders. So Jeffrey fell to the side, you assume, the male leaders.
So, yeah, the conservative side.
He wants...
Gotta hold on to that power, man.
Yeah. So in 1975, Jeffrey gets so passionate about his beliefs that he wants to join the priesthood for the church, which is a big deal. You have to be nominated for this. You have to have like really good standing in the community. You have to be really knowledgeable. There's a lot of boxes to tick here.
Yeah.
So a couple of people at the church do submit Jeffrey's name to be considered for priesthood. And he also was offered a temp teaching job at the college.
Wow.
I don't know how he swung it. I just don't.
Yeah.
But based on this, he was able to get them their own home finally. So that's nice.
That's good.
And Jeffrey continues to accumulate more and more debt. He unplugged their family phone so Alice would not get calls from the bill collectors. So he gets them a house,
I want to know.
but he still defaults.
Why the fuck is he... How did he get a house when he has so much debt and he's like not paying his bills?
You know,
I don't get that.
It's the 70s. I guess you could get away with it easier. I'm not sure.
Absolutely. And mommy and daddy probably helped.
You know, I've thought about that too. I wonder if he asked them for financial help sometimes. So
probably.
But bill collectors, just end up showing up at the home. That's what they do when you don't answer the phone. So Alice gets so mad, she takes the kids and herself to the Stones' house again to get away from Jeffrey. So she goes to her friend Louise. She's like, we gotta come stay with you again. He's fucking everything up again. And they happily take her and the kids in. Jeffrey shows up like a knight in shining armor, but he's not on a horse. You want to know what he's on?
A new car.
Yeah, he's in a brand new Chevy Monte Carlo.
Oh my God, this can't get more just fucking stupid.
And it's not his, it's for Alice. And Alice is elated. She's like, oh, he got me a car. Girl. But can he pay any of your bills?
How did he get the car?
How did he get this car? Yeah. See, I don't know how he's doing this. He's such a charmer.
I have questions.
Such a charmer. So they all hop in the car, the kids and her, and they all drive off back home. Happy ending. No, I'm just kidding. It gets worse. 77. Year of 77. Jeffrey drops out of college, but is only a couple of credits away from graduating. This is a stupid decision.
I feel that.
He was caught stealing from a class fund and asked to leave. So that's why he dropped out.
Oh, so he didn't really drop out. He was forced to leave.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Why
okay.
would you-
Don't feel that. I left on my own accord.
Yeah.
Not because I was asked to, because I was a thief.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was also not accepted into the priesthood. Because, like I said, lots of boxes to tick, and he's just not up to par. Also, they were evicted.
Oh, I'm shocked. I didn't know that happened after you don't pay your fucking
Can you
bills.
believe it? There's consequences. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
My own actions.
So Jeffrey tells Alice that he got a night shift job at TWA Transworld Airlines.
Oh, okay.
Which is a really good place to work. So
yeah, it is.
She's happy. After a few weeks of working here, Alice sees that he's not bringing home any checks, though. So she breaks into his desk. I love the trust here, girl.
Oh my gosh. I do. Yeah, we have a lot of it going around.
She breaks in his desk and she's looking to see if he's depositing checks anywhere else. You know, she's looking for money to pay their bills. But she finds porn magazines and a letter from the apartment they were renting threatening eviction unless they pay rent.
Oh my gosh.
So double whammy.
Of course he has porn magazines, so like whatever. But I know that like for her, that's a huge no-no.
Of course. Yeah.
For their religious beliefs. That's oh my God. That's worse than the not paying the rent.
It is. Yeah. It's immoral. So Alice calls TWA to ask about his paycheck. And they say, who?
I knew it.
Yeah. Never worked there. They get evicted again from this apartment and they move back with Alice's parents with their kids.
Oh my gosh.
And guess what? She's pregnant again.
God damn it.
It's just,
wrap it.
No, they don't know how. But Jeffrey actually does get a job at Ozarks Hospital as a maintenance tech.
Okay.
So he's able to hold this one down. And they eventually do rent a house from a friend. And they get really cheap rent. It's like $100 a month.
Okay, but if he was not working at the airline.
No, yeah.
But she thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Where was he?
We have more questions.
Well, okay. Do we have more answers later?
Not for that.
Damn it.
Not for that.
I'm just curious.
I have suspicions that he was probably at pleasure halls.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say hiring prostitutes. Like,
yeah, something like that.
That's my guess.
So things are looking up finally with the job and the house, but things get worse in the marriage. One day, Jeffrey gives the kids to the in-laws for a bit and tells Alice it's going to be a romantic day. If you need to bow out of this sexual thing, it's about to get real nasty. So bye, we'll see you later. And he's like, we're going to have a whole romantic day. And she's super excited. She's like, yes, it's going to be great.
My stomach is nervous.
I actually feel like I'm going to throw up. So
I have no idea what's coming.
All right. So he's like, go draw a bath. He tells her, go draw a bath. She does. And she's sitting in the bathtub and she's naked. And he comes into the room fully naked and says, drain the tub, but stay in it. So she does and stays in it. And then
oh, God.
Oh, my God. I need to leave the country. I'm not okay.
What happens? What happens?
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry these words are about to come out of my mouth. He gets in the tub and shits on her chest, has sex with her, and then they take a bath.
Oh, no. He shit on her.
He shits on her. Then they have sex. So, like, there's shit on her while they're having sex. Getting everywhere, smearing everywhere. And then they take a bath.
No. No.
Alice was disgusted, but she was not about to make him upset or angry. This was not the first time that this would happen to her after this. This was just the first time.
Alice, run away.
Sometimes he would get even more gross about it. He would smear it on her face and hair.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. I'm so grossed out.
Yeah, I couldn't look into any more of it. If there's more explicit details, you won't hear it here because I literally could not stomach
That's just
looking into more. So with time, Alice begins refusing sex, period. All the way. She's like, no, you can't coerce me into this. So Jeffrey.
I'm sorry. Can we rewind a second? Can you just imagine your husband being like, girl, let's just let the grandparents take the kids. We're going to have such a sexy day. And then he shits on you? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I just imagine the shock when it's happening. I wonder what she's...
Is that what he gets off on? Is like her shock?
Probably. Yeah. Probably just like... I imagine you'd be kind of paralyzed, you know? Because you don't want it to get everywhere and stuff.
Also, how do you shit on command? Like,
he ate a lot of beans. Anyway, I don't know.
I have questions. I don't need answers to them. That's okay, but...
Oh my God. So...
okay.
Jeffrey tells Alice he started taking night classes at the hospital where he works to become an EMT lab tech. Come to find out, it's no night classes. He's sleeping with women that worked at the hospital.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, you already tried this whole I'm at a night job or I'm doing a night thing. Bitch, we already know.
We know.
You got to use a different excuse.
She knows.
Come on.
She knows that I know. She knows. Yeah. So whenever she finds this out, though, he's like, you drove me to this. You made me do this. You withheld sex from me, and so you're making me do this.
You shit on me.
Right?
I would pull that card every time. You shit on me. You shit on me. Do I need to say it again? You shit on me.
Okay. It's about to get weird. It's just going to get weird now, okay?
That was not weird enough.
No. That was gross and disgusting and crazed and absolutely...
Oh my God.
Horrible. Now we're getting weird. So Alice buckles down and says, okay, I want to satisfy you. I will be your dream sex girl.
No.
So she's agreeing to anything at this point. And now he's taken it in a different direction. So we're not doing any more bathroom kinks right now. We're just going.
So he cheats on her. He's caught.
Yeah.
He blames her and she goes, okay, I'll be your sex kitten, whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
God,
she's got to buckle down and keep him with her.
Okay.
So Jeffrey starts to make Alice drink whenever they have sex. She gets drunk really quickly because she doesn't drink. And he requests that she bathe him, put his hair in rollers, and paint his nails. After, he brings her into the bedroom, pulls out a strap-on, and asks to be pegged so he can know what it's like to be a woman.
Okay.
How insulting is that? Well, you want to know what it's like to be a woman?
But also, anal sex is very different from vaginal sex. So like, that's not able to feel like a woman. Also, I feel like you have a lot of sexual repression.
For sure.
Going on here.
For sure.
But you said drink, and it didn't come off like they're drinking alcohol until it took you a few words to get to that point. And I was like, what is she drinking?
No,
what the fuck?
Sorry.
What is she fucking drinking?
No. She's not drinking bodily fluids at this point that I'm aware of. So, well, Alice is not into the strap-on thing. She storms out. And he gets...
Okay, I'm sorry. This is where you storm out?
I know!
I would put that strap on and I would peg him so fucking hard because you know that would hurt.
It would hurt.
It would be like the moment you get to give it right back to him. And this is what she storms out about, not when he shits on you. Girl, I have questions.
The standard is very warped. So... we're about to get into something that's more physically violent. So if you need to leave, we'll see you later. So, like I said, Alice was not into this whenever he brought up the pegging, and she storms out. He gets angry and is chasing her around. And Alice ends up being thrown against a door. And the knob of the door connects with her back.
Oh, shit.
And she passes out from the pain, almost immediately. So she had to be rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery and almost died from internal bleeding. Her spleen had ruptured.
I was going to say her spleen or her kidneys. She busted one of them is what I was thinking.
Horrifying. So her recovery...
She had to be thrown so hard.
That's what I was thinking. Like, in order to... I don't know. In order to rupture someone's internal organs... Just think about the strength behind that. Oh, my God.
Where's your spleen? Is your spleen below your... Anyways, you still have, like... You have ribs... that
you
go
have protective
like
covering
that start
still.
from the back that don't attach to the front. They're called your floating ribs.
Yeah.
And so like those protect a lot of your organs.
Yes.
And so it's for it to
this is
bust
very
like
concerning.
That. Yeah.
More than
and also
concerning.
I know I said that I would have put that strap on and pegged him because I knew it would hurt him. And I know that that's sexual assault, but I know that he's an asshole and he was already assaulting her.
You didn't even know this was coming. And now she's like, I'm...
Exactly.
She said full send.
Don't fuck with me. I'm petty. Okay.
She said, stay toxic. No, no.
I know that's not a good trait. Okay. That's why I go to therapy, guys.
We're learning to be good humans. Okay.
We're
so
trying.
Alice's spleen is ruptured. And so she has to have surgery. She comes home. Her recovery is very, very hard. She is bedridden for a long time and on pain meds. She does remember
baby
being groggy one evening. And she remembers Jeffrey getting on top of her and having sex with her. She thought it was a dream. But she found out shortly after that she's pregnant again. So he raped her.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, I'd have pegged the fuck out of him with a dry ass dildo.
Like obviously, you shouldn't rape people. But also, he's taking advantage of the fact that she is wounded. She's in recovery and bedridden. And then on medication.
And now she's pregnant. What the fuck is that going to do while her body's trying to recover from a massive surgery? Inconsiderate.
Okay. I have gross things again. So they get evicted again from this place. The landlord is done with them because he ends up stopping payments during this whole process.
Oh my God.
And he finds magazines with porn and sex toys covered in shit. Like literal human feces.
The landlord does?
Yes. They pack up everything and leave. But Jeffrey, he punches holes in the walls. There's stains everywhere. The landlord said there was a gut-wrenching smell and it was human shit on those sex toys they had left in there. And
also, sex toys are expensive. Why the fuck would you leave those? Just shit on the ground, you idiot.
Oh, there was more. There was actually shit on the ground too in the basement.
I know, but why leave the sex toys?
I don't know.
You're disgusting.
Anyway, so if you can believe it, let's circle back to the priesthood. At this point, Jeffrey's name was submitted again by 2 other members from a different LDS church for priesthood, and it's approved.
What the fuck?
Jeffrey gets fired from the hospital for kissing and groping women at the hospital while on duty. So after he's fired from that and he's approved for the priesthood, he moves the family to Independence, Missouri, and begins preaching hellfire and brimstone sermons that made everybody super uncomfy. So the church was like,
this man.
They were like, hey, love you, but you can't preach to the congregation anymore. But here's an adult class you can teach. We'll give you a class. If people want to take it, sure. So he gets a class. And the class ends up bringing about 20 fundamentalist RDLS believers that are hardcore into Jeffrey's teachings. They're like, preach it, man.
He's on the right track.
Yeah.
Jesus is coming back and the rapture's coming.
And he's going to smack you across the face.
Yeah. With a poop-covered dildo.
For sure. April of 1984, the RLDS church decided women can now preach, and Jeffrey is livid with this decision.
Of course he
was against it from the get-go. He's upset that it went through, so he's now voicing his opinion on that in class, and he's taking on new beliefs like Jesus and God are the same person, which is very much against the Book of Mormon. And so...
Because isn't it the same Trinity?
Uh-huh.
Don't they have the same Trinity? Yeah, okay, I thought so.
They're all different entities. So they're like, that's fundamentally not what we believe. So you're preaching something that is completely different from Mormonism. So the elders shut down his class. And Jeffrey is like, house church, let's go.
Oh, God. Okay, I take it back. I said like...
We've said in the past that we'd like house church. We wouldn't go to this one, though. So
we take it back now.
It's about 15 members that end up joining his little house church. 2 families stand out from them, the Averys and the Patchers. They were super into his teachings and how the LDS church was going to hell, and they believed that Jeffrey was the prophet and leader that they needed. So one day, Jeffrey has a vision from God, commanding him to move to Kirtland, Ohio, which is home to the Kirtland Temple, an iconic Mormon church. You can take a tour of it to this day. So they move and leave those church members behind for the time being. And Jeffrey worked at the temple as a tour guide. Yeah.
Okay.
This man can job hop. Like, it gives me whiplash.
Yeah, he can. Yeah.
And he loved this job. He is obsessed with this job. He got to show off all his knowledge on scripture to the tourists, and he gets promoted to be in charge of the financial records of the temple. Guys, you're going to regret that later.
I was just about to say he stole money from the college. So,
yeah. But Jeffrey, he wants more knowledge, more truth, more power. He starts interpreting scripture via a method called chiasm, where he would read scripture in a specific order, read it, then read more in another order, and draw conclusions from it. So an example of it would be read the first line, and then the last line of the passage, interpret. Then you'd look for repeating words in the passage and interpret. It's really
okay, so
weird
let's just make this real fucking confusing and draw our own conclusions. Like, that's just like, I feel like that's like looking for what you want it to say, like making it say what you want it to say.
I would not recommend. That's all.
Yeah, no.
In 1985, Jeffrey meets some interns that are becoming tour guides, and they take to Jeffrey. Their names are Sharon Blunchley, Daniel Kraft, Shar Olson, and Richard Brand. There's 4 of them. And he impressed them with all of his stuff, all of his teachings, all of his thoughts, all of his whatever. So he started teaching a Sunday school class at the temple. Second verse, same as the verse. He's preaching that God is not loving, but vengeful. And if you don't repent, you burn in hell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's the same thing that he was doing
before. All fear-based.
Which is terrifying. He also started talking about a rebellion that he would lead. He undermined a lot of teachings of the other priests that taught at the temple. But the elders of that temple actually agreed with Jeffrey's teachings. They were on the more conservative side. So they allowed it. They let it happen.
They were like, go off. Preach that hellfire and brimstone. Go on now, get it.
Some of the Sunday school students begin living with the Lundgrens, Alice and Jeffrey, while others live close by. The full group is Shar Olson, Richard Brand, Kevin Curry, Debbie Alvarez, Sharon Blunchley, Daniel Kraft, Greg Winship, Dennis and Cheryl Avery, and Dennis and Tanya Patrick, Ron and Susie Love, Keith and Kathy Johnson, and all of those people's children.
Wow, so he amassed a pretty decent little following for a psychotic psychopath.
Yeah, we're in cult territory.
Yeah, definitely.
These people are all looking for something greater, something beyond the church doors. They felt something was missing, that they had lost connection with the church that they had previously been in. Some of those people were at really low points in life, feeling like they were lost. Shit. And guess what? The Lundgrens offered a welcoming and warm home to them. They became close friends with these people. They were all a family together. And they genuinely loved Jeffrey and Alice.
Wow. I don't know where this is going.
Well, I'll tell you, it's ending right now.
God damn it.
It's ending for part 1. That's it.
That is part one. That was kind of perfect timing. I was like, I don't know, it's going. You're like, well, that's good because it's ending.
It's about to get so much worse. So much worse. So if you thought the good, the bad, the ugly happened, you would be wrong.
It's just weird.
It's so
it's just fucking weird. He shit on her.
Yeah, none of us are going to be able to move past that the whole time.
Past that. I am so petty. You shit on me. I'm scooping that up and shoving it right in your fucking face.
How about just leave town? I
would do that. I would do that too. But before that, I'm shoving it in your face because you shit on me.
Oh my God. Alice, come on.
Oh, honey.
So we'll talk about more on the cult and how this all plays out when it comes to true crime, because we haven't got to crime yet besides the theft.
Yeah, I guess there's that. Yeah. And you did say murder in a trigger warning, so
yeah,
someone's getting offed in part 2.
But
now, who is it?
Now you have a lot of background on the Lundgrens and where the Mormon Church stands right now at that point in history, with the splits happening in the different branches of Mormonism that were really taking root. So
yeah, I just wonder. I bet life would have been a lot different if he wouldn't have been approved for priesthood.
That's the thing. Why couldn't...
Because everything changed after he got the priesthood.
Who are these people that... Because it was 4 different people total that recommended him for priesthood. I'm assuming that these people were the ones that also were conservative, but like, I feel like they should have had a checks and balances in place where it was like of both sides. Because you knew who was conservative and who wasn't in the church. Like, it was not a guessing game. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
with the hierarchy and it's structured like a government body.
Yeah.
The Mormon Church. And that's what makes it so easy to lose control and gain too much control.
Yeah, it probably wasn't his character that got him denied for the priesthood the first time. It was probably, something stupid that we would consider stupid. Like, you didn't memorize enough verses, or something more biblical.
Maybe. And I know that they probably wanted to use him to push a certain agenda with the conservative branches and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
with our LDS. Yeah. I feel like he was kind of a pawn in the full game, but they didn't know how dangerous he was and what kind of power he could hold.
Okay. I see that. You're probably, I agree with you.
I'm sure they all regret it now, but so that's it.
Anyways, hard right turn.
Yeah.
Into palate cleansers.
Tell me something good. I need some good news.
I do need good news. Are you using the Good News Network this time?
You are?
No, I said, are you? I was asking a question. Are you? Of course I am. You're like, of course
I am. Come on.
Yeah. Well, while you look yours up, I had a good day at work yesterday. I've been subbing, and I was at a new school yesterday. It was a school I hadn't been at before. And I tell you, they just know how to stroke my ego, because every classroom, I was like a special ed assistant. And so I just jumped from classroom to classroom all day. I had a little schedule I followed. Every classroom I was in, I would leave and they were like, oh my gosh, you were so much help. Can you just come back tomorrow? And I'm like, thank you. Everyone loves me. That. I was like, wow. I finally asked one of the teachers, I was like, okay, every teacher is telling me that today. I'm like, do you guys just have really bad subs?
Oh shit.
What the fuck is going on?
Is it just slim pickings, guys?
I'm not doing anything special. There was times when I walk into the middle of a lesson and I'd literally just stand there, or I'd tap on a kid's shoulder who starts making noise, listen to the teacher, or, or then she took the kids to do a few kids at a time to work on a certain thing. And then all the other kids at the desk were practicing writing their letters. This is kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And so I just went around and was helping them, make sure you do your finger spaces, where you put your finger in between the letters so they don't smash them all together. And so I was like, do you guys just have really bad subs? And she's like, oh, you wouldn't believe. She goes, they just come in and stand here and don't do anything.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's literally our entire job.
How though?
And I remember when I took the job, I have a friend who's a teacher or who was a teacher at our local schools. And I was like, do you have any tips for me? She goes, biggest thing is just follow the lesson plan. And it's like, people don't do that. And she was like,
it's literally the only rubric that you're given.
Like they're like, this is what you do. And you throw it out. Like, I don't get it because like I follow the lesson plan. And if we can't get to something, like I'm making notes and being like, we didn't get to this, or like this student had a really bad day. We struggled with X, Y, and Z. They might need help with X. Like she fully knows what happened when
it's like they didn't miss class.
Exactly. And so I'm like,
which is the way
I don't get it.
Ought to be. The documentation
so then I was like, well, I'm so sorry, you know? And so then I go to check out because I have to like sign out at the end of the day. And I went into the office and the office lady was like, girl, everybody has been raving about you today.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my God, thank you.
I'm not surprised.
And she's like,
you're an overachiever. Like, oh, come on.
Well, I'm really not an overachiever with this. It's
you know, you can't teach empathy. You can't teach being a heartful human to adults.
Well, and I think what I have in this job that a lot of people don't have is I have firsthand experience in classrooms. I know firsthand what teachers go through and what responsibilities lay on a teacher's shoulder from the state that they have to meet and how little resources they're given. I know that.
That's an advantage.
So I think that I know that going in, so I'm very willing and ready to be a helping hand and to like do my job. Like I don't want to just stand there. I don't want to be like, I don't want to feel like I'm not being useful.
Well, hopefully you'll be like an example to some of the other subs, especially like regulars.
Yeah, I don't have any interactions with a lot of other subs.
Well, maybe they'll hear the good buzz and be like, I need to step it up.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was really nice. She gave me all her information, took my information, and she said, if you see a job at our school and it doesn't fit your schedule, call me. We'll work with your schedule.
Oh,
she was like, nice. I'd rather, like, if you need to leave it too, I'd rather deal with that hour and a half of like not having, you know, needing to cover for that hour and a half and like having you here for the day. And I was like, oh my gosh.
That's nice.
That's so sweet. And like,
that's how you know you're good. Look, she don't miss in the heat of battle. She don't miss. And the heat of controversy, she don't miss.
I told Tyler, I was like, it feels so good to just like, to feel
appreciated, like, seen.
Appreciated in a job setting this, because I wasn't appreciated in my job settings like my entire life before having kids.
Yeah.
And so now, like walking into this field, it's like I am highly appreciated. And that
makes sense.
I'm like, I feel so good about myself.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Nice. Yay. So, you deserve it.
My ego got a big boost.
Good. I love it. You deserve it.
Thank you.
All right. Are you ready for the Good News Network?
Yes.
All right.
The Good News Network. They should literally sponsor us.
You know, if they would just like say hi to me sometime, I would be so honored. So there are new wearable cuffs that rewire brains of stroke patients by stimulating nerves.
Cuffs?
Cuffs. Like a little, you know, like the blood pressure cuffs?
Cuffs? Yeah,
that's what it looks
around
like
your,
to me. So
that's cool.
A discreet and flexible armband made of electrodes has been found in a small study of stroke patients to aid in restoring flexibility in their disabled arms. Manufactured by a startup called Newbond, the device is intended to seamlessly integrate into daily routines, allowing patients with impaired motor functions to maximize time spent performing rehabilitation activities. Newbond, led by co-founders Junpei Kashiwakura and Patrick Sagastigliala.
See, it's not just me.
Sorry. Has been working with patients from a stroke support group in London near the Imperial College London campus to hone their device. The results were published in a recent paper in the journal NYU Scholars.
Wow.
So yeah, that's really cool.
I love that. I always love when I see like new science and like medicine
very
advancements come out. It's especially for stroke victims because recovery from a stroke is it's so vastly different from person to person, depending on like how big your stroke was or how much damage it did. And sometimes the damage is permanent, and there's, or you can be like my sister and you had a stroke and you recovered and she has no lasting damage, like outwardly. Like there are parts of your brain that die, and when it's dead, it's dead. There's no coming back from that. So I had a shirt that said dead inside but caffeinated, and she goes, I need that shirt because literally part of my brain's dead. And I just was like, the dark humor. I love it. I love it. I should probably go on to the Good News Network. I've never looked at it.
It's nice.
I just wait for you to tell me all the good news. I love that. All right, guys, that was the end of part 1. We will see you next week for part 2. Come back, because it's going to get crazy. I'm guessing.
It gets worse. It gets better. Come on.
It gets crazy. It gets crazy. All right. See you guys later. Bye. We interrupt this episode with a message from our sponsor. If you've ever deconstructed your faith, you know it's not easy. But just imagine if you could have people to guide you through the process.
That's right. People like Jim Palmer, Kristen Dumez, author of Jesus and John Wayne, Jennifer Knapp, Brad Jerzak, Brian Zond, Paul Young, author of The Shack, and more. Well, if you head over to choiracademy.com and register for Square 2 using the promo code LOLA, you'll get 10% off the regular registration cost of this awesome course and community just for being a fan of our show.
All links can be found in the show notes. Again, that's code LOLA, LOLA, for 10% off the Square 2 course. Also, heathens, if you're enjoying the show so far, please like, subscribe, do all the things, show us all the love. We love all of you guys and all of the reviews and ratings that we've gotten so far. You guys are so appreciated. And to everybody that is over on our Patreon, we love each and every one of you. It is so much fun over there. If you're not part of the Patreon, it's $5 a month, and you get access to the Potty Podcast where we shoot the shit. We talk about a bunch of different fun topics, half-hour show you get access to every single week. So go over there and get you signed up. And also we have our merch available still. So follow the link in the show notes and get you some Deadly Faith merch. Deadly Faith is brought to you by Choircast Network. It is produced by Laci Bean and Lola Robbins, and it is audio engineered by Eric Howell. Thanks for listening.